It started on a quiet Thursday evening, the kind where the sky hangs low with gray and the world feels heavy. I came home from work with 2 grocery bags in hand, ready to cook dinner for everyone. My way of contributing ever since I moved back home to save money for my own place. But the moment I stepped through the front door, I knew something was off. My mother was sitting at the kitchen table with a glass of wine, and my father stood behind her with arms crossed. Beside them, lounging on the couch like a prince on a throne, was my younger brother, Ethan. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. He didn't look up from his phone, but my mother did. "Kayla," she said, her voice already carrying that disappointed tone, "we need to talk." I set the bags down slowly. "Is everything okay?" My father's jaw clenched. "Your brother's going through a stressful time. He needs space. He can't focus on his startup with so much distraction." "Distraction?" I blinked. "You mean me?" Ethan finally looked up and smirked. "It's hard to get in the zone with all your noise and clutter." "My clutter?" I had the smallest room in the house. I paid rent. I did the cooking, cleaning, even handled the tech issues for my dad's office work. "I've been working 2 jobs to save up," I reminded them, my voice trembling. "And I only come home to sleep. What noise?" "We've decided it's time," Mom interrupted. "You've been here long enough. It's not permanent. You just need to give Ethan the breathing room he deserves." Breathing room? He had the entire downstairs floor to himself. Meanwhile, I slept in a box-sized room next to the laundry machines. It wasn't a request. It was an announcement. "You want me gone," I said, "so he can feel more comfortable." Dad gave a weak shrug. "We're doing what's best for everyone." No, they were doing what was best for him, like always. Ethan had always been the golden child, the baby of the family, the future CEO, despite failing out of college and hopping from one business idea to the next. Meanwhile, I graduated top of my class and worked 60 hours a week. And somehow I was the burden. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I nodded, grabbed my bags, and walked out that night. No goodbye, no hugs. Just silence. I spent that night in my car in the rain, parked behind the diner where I worked weekend shifts. My clothes were still damp from the storm the next morning when I dragged myself to work. I didn't have a plan, but I had rage, and that rage turned into fuel. For the next 3 months, I couch surfed, picked up extra shifts, and slept in the back room at work when I had to. I kept every paycheck, saved every tip. And one day, I landed a temp gig at a financial tech startup, ironic given what would come next. It was there that I met Sarah, a quiet genius in accounting who'd been burned by her own toxic family. We bonded quickly, and she taught me things I never thought I'd learn about credit, about access, about digital footprints. And during one late night over greasy takeout, I finally told her about my family. She listened, she nodded. Then she leaned in and said, "You know, if they ever linked any of their cards to an account with your name, you might still have access." At first, I laughed. But something clicked. My dad had added me as a secondary card holder back in college, for emergencies, he'd said. I hadn't used it in years, but the account still linked. That night, I logged in. There it was. My parents' travel credit card, still showing my name on the access panel. And that's when the idea hit me. Not revenge, not cruelty, just justice. They kicked me out so Ethan could breathe. Let's see how they do when their entire life stops breathing. The coldness in the air when I walked out that door never quite left me. It clung to my skin like betrayal. I tried to move on, renting a small apartment with barely any furniture, living off canned soup and freelance design jobs that barely covered rent. But at least it was mine, my space, my peace. And I had time to reflect. Time to trace back every moment that led to that night when my own parents looked me in the eye and said, "You understand, don't you? Your brother just needs space right now," as if I was just furniture, something they could move out of the way, something expendable. But what they didn't know, what they had forgotten in all their favoritism and blind loyalty to their precious son, was that while I was quiet, I wasn't powerless. You see, I was the one who set up their financial structure. Back when I helped Dad digitize the family's estate documents, I was the one who created their emergency fund, linked their backup cards, and managed their online banking. I even had full account access when they begged me to help them avoid another tax penalty 2 years ago. And they never changed it, never bothered, because why would they suspect the quiet one would ever fight back? So when I found out a week later that they had used my emergency fund, yes, my own carefully saved $15,000 emergency stash, money I kept in a separate account under their umbrella trust, for a surprise vacation for my brother and his girlfriend to Bali, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just opened the banking app, disabled their credit cards, unlinked the backup funds, and canceled all automatic payments. It was a slow burn. At first, my brother thought it was a glitch. Then came the phone calls. My parents called me 3 times in 2 hours. I didn't answer. I watched their texts grow more desperate. "Sweetie, we think someone hacked our account. Please help us fix this. Your father is trying to call the bank. This is urgent. We're stranded at the airport." And that's when it happened. They were trying to upgrade my brother to business class as a honeymoon gift, and the card declined. Twice. My brother had to use his girlfriend's student credit card, and I knew that had to sting. But I wasn't done. 3 days later, I showed up at their house. Calm. Dressed in the same coat they said made me look like I didn't care about appearances. I walked in without knocking, just like they used to do to my room. My mother ran up to me, panicked. "We've been trying to reach you. The bank froze everything, and we're trying to pay for the hotel." I held up my hand. "You used my emergency fund for a vacation," I said, while I was eating noodles out of a plastic bowl in a rented basement. My father tried to speak, but I wasn't finished. "I was never your priority, never your pride, but I was the one who kept your finances organized. I'm the one who saved you from foreclosure that year you gambled too close to the edge. And how do you repay me? By kicking me out and stealing from me to reward him?" My brother, Mr. Golden Child, was standing behind them, arms crossed, smug. "Come on, it was just a trip. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video." "Exactly," I said, pulling a printed bank statement from my bag and slapping it on the kitchen island. "Just a trip. Paid for with my sacrifice, my savings. And now you'll experience what it's like to be stranded without a safety net." I walked out, left them with frozen accounts, late fees piling up, and their perfect son glaring at them for ruining his Instagram-worthy honeymoon. But it wasn't revenge for the sake of being cruel. It was justice. For all the silences I swallowed, for every maybe next time when they skipped my milestones, for every time they treated me like I was just a backup plan in their family dynamic, and they were only beginning to learn what it meant to lose their invisible daughter. Weeks passed without a word from them, no calls, no messages, just silence, eerily familiar, like the kind I'd grown up in where love was measured in duties, not hugs, and silence was their favorite form of punishment. But this time, it wasn't punishment. It was peace. I had rebuilt my life. I moved into a small but cozy studio downtown, filled with art supplies, plants that actually thrived under my care, and light, so much light. I even got a promotion at work, not because someone pulled strings, but because I showed up, delivered, and finally believed I deserved the good things. Then one day, an envelope arrived. Handwritten. No return address, just my name. Inside was a photo, one I hadn't seen in years. It was from my 8th grade science fair, the one they skipped to attend my brother's soccer game. I'd won first place. I stood there in the photo, beaming, alone. Behind the photo was a short note in my father's handwriting. "We were wrong. We see it now. No excuses, no begging, just 6 words. But that was all I needed to know, that for the first time in their lives, they felt the weight of what they had done. Not just with the money, but with the years. The decades of favoring the loud over the loyal. The charming over the consistent. I didn't call them. I didn't go back. I simply walked to the beach that afternoon, let the waves brush my feet, and for the first time in a long time, felt the warmth of self-worth wrap around me like the sun. They had finally noticed me. But it was only after I'd stopped needing them to. That was the final twist. When you stop chasing validation, they finally realize your value. But by then, you've already moved on. And that is the most powerful kind of freedom. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.